All right, let's just get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are tackling what is, without a doubt, the tech industry's single most pressing anxiety right now. Is AI actually going to replace software engineers? To figure this out, we're breaking down a really fascinating case study from a working developer who is pushing artificial intelligence to its absolute limits in their daily workflow. Listen, this isn't some theoretical think piece. This is a true, boots-on-the-ground look at what actually happens when you try to automate as much of the software engineering process as humanly possible today. So get comfortable, because we're going to look at exactly how AI is being used right now, where it absolutely shines, and most importantly, where it completely hits a wall.
99%. Just let that sink in for a second. The developer in our case study reports that they currently use AI tools, specifically models like Claude 4.5 Opus, to write 99% of their code. They are actively utilizing the latest and greatest models literally the moment they launch. They aren't holding back even a little bit. They're leaning entirely into the automation curve. And honestly, when you hear a number that high, it's pretty easy to jump to some pretty extreme conclusions about the future of human workers in tech.
Because naturally, this massive level of automation leads directly to the core question on everyone's mind. If an AI can write 99% of a developer's code, doesn't that mean human engineers are rapidly becoming obsolete? I mean, if the machine is doing all the heavy lifting, why on earth would a company keep paying expensive human salaries, right? It's a totally logical fear. But as we dig into the reality of what this day-to-day workflow actually looks like, we're going to see that the answer is way more nuanced and, frankly, a whole lot more interesting than a simple yes or no.
All right, moving into Section 1, the rise of vibe coding and the two modes of AI.
So to really understand the reality on the ground, you have to know that developers are currently utilizing AI in two wildly different ways. The first is this brand new concept people are calling vibe coding. Vibe coding is a completely hands-off approach. You essentially tell the AI to build an app or a feature, and you don't even look at the underlying code. You just let the AI handle the whole shebang. In our case study, this method is heavily used for side projects. And why is that? Because in those scenarios, your only real goal is just getting the product to work so you can quickly get it in front of users and gather feedback. You don't really care how messy the code is behind the scenes as long as the app actually functions. You just check the app, and if it's broken, you tell the AI to fix it. It's incredibly fast, it's iterative, and it requires zero traditional coding on your part.
But here's the catch. When you're working at an actual tech company, vibe coding simply isn't an option. Instead, you have to use what's known as regular software engineering. In this mode, sure, you still tell the AI to generate the code, but you must deeply review and understand exactly what is going on. It is a highly collaborative back-and-forth process. You give the AI a task, it comes back, you check its work, you fix its inevitable mistakes, you clarify your instructions, or you ask it questions when you don't understand something. It's this deep, involved conversation. Because at a professional tech company, understanding the code is a mandatory part of your job. You literally can't just cross your fingers and hope the AI got it right.
Which brings us to Section 2, when vibe coding breaks down.
As much as vibe coding sounds like a superpower, it eventually hits a hard, unavoidable complexity wall. When an application scales up to a production level, that AI autonomy really starts to break down. You can't just open the app and casually click around to test it anymore. Complex apps are dependent on multiple different services. Often, just to test a single feature, a developer needs their account in a highly specific state. They might need to generate tons of fake support data, or literally go into the raw text and temporarily change if statements in the code to be true, just to force the program down a specific path so they can see if a feature actually works. Now, imagine trying to do all of that while 5 other human collaborators are adding and changing things in the project at the exact same time. In these complex environments, trying to blindly guide the AI without getting your hands dirty in the weeds, it becomes virtually impossible.
Let's look at Section 3, reframing code and its true value.
When you hit that intense level of complexity, your workflow absolutely has to shift directly back to the raw code itself. And this requires a massive paradigm shift in how we think. A lot of people have this misconception that code is just an annoying obstacle we have to overcome to get an app to work. But the reality observed on the front lines is entirely different. The code itself is the value. The code is what tells you exactly, definitively, what the software is going to do. When things get complicated, working directly with the code is actually the fastest, most efficient way to get things done and to verify the AI's work. It's not a hurdle you jump over. It is the ultimate, precise final product.
Now, you might be wondering, why do developers revert to reading code instead of just asking the AI to summarize what it did? Well, because code is perfectly precise.
It gives exact instructions. It's concise, which allows a human engineer to instantly verify if the AI actually handled all the requirements or if it totally misunderstood a prompt. AI summaries, on the other hand, can be incredibly fuzzy. The AI might over-explain things, bombarding you with overwhelming walls of text that still don't guarantee the exact logic matches what you expected. If you want to understand something deeply, you don't ask the AI for a summary, you look directly at the precise code.
All right, Section 4, the macro reality of jobs and growth.
Let's zoom out for a second to the macro picture of the tech industry as a whole. The common fear is that these insanely efficient AI tools mean companies will just hire fewer engineers. But basic corporate financial incentives actually challenge that logic. Think about it. Tech companies are rewarded for growth, not stagnation. If an engineering team suddenly becomes twice as efficient because of AI, a company has a choice. Sure, they could fire half the team and build the exact same amount of products, or they can keep the exact same headcount and build twice as many products to grow their revenue. And historically, tech companies are heavily incentivized by investors to choose growth. They want to make more money this year than they did last year. Therefore, increased efficiency usually leads to more projects, not an immediate gutting of the workforce.
I know. The job market feels incredibly tough right now. But we really have to separate the daily news cycle from the actual data. Back in 2018 and 2019, we considered that a very strong job market benchmark. Then a couple of years ago, the news cycle was just completely dominated by mass layoffs. It was literally all anyone heard about. But what the news doesn't always broadcast is that over the past few years, companies like Google and Meta have been quietly rehiring thousands of people. In fact, Google is currently sitting close to its all-time high employee count. The perception that the tech industry is just collapsing and jobs are vanishing forever, it's simply not supported by the actual employee numbers, which are far higher today than they were during the strong markets of 2018.
And finally, Section 5, skill stacking for the future.
Taking all of this in, the limits of vibe coding, the absolute precision of raw code, and the macro realities of tech growth, how should you approach your own career right now? Well, the conclusion here is crystal clear. You shouldn't be asking whether you should learn to code or learn AI. The winning strategy, the ultimate skill stack, is to learn AI and learn how to code. Coding is just another incredibly powerful tool in your toolkit. In many complex situations, jumping into the code is still the absolute fastest and most efficient way to solve a problem. If you only learn how to write prompts for an AI, you are going to hit that complexity wall, and you're going to hit it hard.
You've likely heard this famous phrase before. AI is not going to replace you, but someone using AI is going to replace you. Well, that is exactly what we're seeing play out in software engineering right now. Seasoned software engineers who already possess deep coding skills are not burying their heads in the sand. They are actively integrating AI into their daily workflows. They know the foundational engineering, and now they have the lightning speed of AI. That combination makes them practically impossible to beat for someone who decides to just skip learning how to code altogether.
And that leaves us with a final, absolutely vital question to ponder as we wrap up today's explainer. The tools are here, and they are radically changing the day-to-day workflow, but the core need for deep, precise understanding hasn't vanished. It's just evolved. So, as you look at your own path, ask yourself, are you going to step back and let AI replace you? Or will you master both the code and the AI and make yourself completely irreplaceable? Thanks for joining me on today's explainer, and keep learning.